Hey fam, and welcome back to the channel. So if you haven't heard, let me put you on real quick. There was yet another attempt coup in Burkina Faso. Yes, you heard that right. Another one. At this point, we've lost count. This could easily be the 20th attempt on Captain Ibrahim Traore, the current president. Now, here's where things get real wild. Reports are flying around that a black American four-star Marine general has allegedly been tasked with having Traore's arrest. I don't know if it's four-star, five-star, I don't care. Why? Because the US and France are claiming he's using his country resources, natural resources, for personal gain. But wait, how is that America or France's business? Hello, Africans and Black Americans are not staying silent about this. People are angry, furious, and honestly, they should be. The idea that Western powers are still meddling in Africa's internal affairs and allegedly using African leaders to do their dirty work is making people sick. It's the same odd neo-colonial script, just with different actors. The reaction on social media, especially TikTok, has been massive. People are speaking up, calling this out for what it is: manipulation, exploitation, and disrespect. And today I've gathered some of those TikTok reactions. You can see exactly what the global community is thinking and feeling about this situation. So sit back, watch this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll leave my own 2 cents at the end of this video. Watch this.
Hello, I want to speak briefly about Burkina Faso and their president Ibrahim Traore. As an African-American woman, I am so proud of President Traoré and so happy for the people of Burkina Faso. I want to state for the record that African-Americans have nothing to do with any assassination attempts, any destabilization of the country, or any criticism of President Traoré. I don't know any American, and I don't know every American, but I don't know any American that even knows who General Michael Langley is. I actually just found out who he was 2 days ago. But when you see black people being put in a position like that and then turn on their heels to criticize another leader in another country, that is by design, and they do not speak for us. They are ruining the reputation of African Americans globally, making people think that we feel this way. We have our own problems in America.
Oh, they are mad now. Now we've heard that they want Burkina Faso's leader, Ibrahim Traore, out. And AFRICOM General Langley is accusing Traore's government of diverting Burkina Faso's gold reserves for personal security rather than the welfare of the people. Let's be honest, is it really the people they're worried about, or the sudden loss of access to West Africa's vault? Because for those of us paying attention to West Africa's glow up knows that Captain Traore's first move after claiming leadership was reclaiming Burkina Faso's sovereignty over its natural resources by revisiting old mining contracts and letting foreign investors know, whether in Australia, Europe, or North America, that if he didn't like the new terms, the door was right over there. See, he isn't acting alone. You got the Sahel Alliance going on. Obviously, the leader of Burkina Faso, Abdelrahman Chiani of Niger, and then you got Assimi Goïta of Mali, all making the same power moves, you know, kicking out foreign bases, reclaiming their natural resources, building self-reliance. So why are foreign agencies laser focused on Ibrahim Traore? It's because he is a young African leader influencing Africa's youth, which is the largest demographic on this planet, and that's a huge problem. He's not talking under the table. He's making it clear that Africa's poverty is manufactured, and it's resonating a lot with everybody, especially the youth who are fed up with how things are. And instead of him being a quiet leader in the corner, he's being seen as a symbol and a catalyst for revolutionary change. And that's the reason why they need to silence him by an unnecessary means.
I need all my copper-colored people to take this very seriously, because the last time something like this happened, it happened to Gaddafi. But now what France and the U.S. are trying to do to the president of Africa, all because he's making sure he take care of the people and his citizens. He's giving them free health care. He's giving them free Medicaid. He now opened up two tomato processing plants out there. And now they get mad and they want to arrest him because he don't want to abide by their rules. Well, guess what? Africa is not America, and they don't owe you anything. Y'all just want them resources over there from Africa. We not stupid, man. But one thing about it, when you're a great African leader and you got to deal with these colonizers that are devils and demons, it's very important that we all come together and protect this man worldwide. Because one thing about it, man, if we let them get away with this, how they got away with Gaddafi, they're going to keep on doing it until we stand up and we really unify and realize that we got the power. If you got melon running through your veins, you are 10 times greater than every last one of them cowards, and they know that. That's why they trying to get rid of that great man, because he's actually for the people. Real talk. I need all them African nations and countries to come together and actually stand up and protect this man. Real talk, citizens and all, because it's not cool to sit here and let these American bullies think they can do anything to anybody anytime they want. And they go for friends too. We know how dirty y'all history is, or at least I do. I don't respect none of y'all. Real talk, man. If anything happened to this man, I guarantee y'all gonna set up an uproar in this world that y'all ain't never seen before. Boy, I gotta watch what I say because it's TikTok.
To the General of the United States, leave them African folks alone. Do not go down in the history books being the betrayer, the enemy, because we will have you in the history books and we will teach generation after generation after generation after generation after generation your full, even your middle name. And there would not be anything good to say about you if you mess with a man of God that is trying to rebuild after these white people have stolen gold, artifacts, copper, oil for hundreds of years. He has been in office for 2 years and have done more than people have been in there than 45 years. Trust me, I read up on him. And I follow what he does. And he is awesome. And right now, don't nobody know you other than you to work for a black man that Trump is getting ready to use as a puppet. That's why he kept a few of y'all. He kept a few of y'all. I see, Trump like to play chess. So what he does was, just like J.D. Vance, he knew J.D. Vance didn't like him. He knew J.D. Vance said all this shit about him. I never liked Trump. You know what I'm saying? J.D. Vance said all this stuff about him, and guess what he did? Made him his vice president. Because what he like to do is throw some money in your face and show it the whole world that you ain't shit and you can be bought. And if you, as a black man, mess with a man of God, that's the same thing that he get ready to do with you. Now, I can tell that you about to retire. So you might want to go down in history as being a good guy. Because if you mess with him, you're going to have almost every black person in the world hating you. And you're going to go down in history books just like Christopher Columbus, because we just found out that he was black and led their ass over here. And you going down in history books just like him, hating. Uncle Rufus, sit your black ass down. Let them white folks, if they want to do something, let them do it. We need to stand together. They always getting the Hebrews to touch each other. They always getting the Israelites to do something to each other. Sit your black ass down.
What the hell is going on in Burkina Faso? I mean, France and USA, they want to arrest the president. The president, I'm talking about the president of Burkina Faso, whose name is Ibrahim Traore. So they want to arrest him. For what reason? So how is that supposed to be done? I don't understand how you want to arrest a president of another country, a sovereign country in 2025. Just because he kicked out France of his territory, of his country, because France tried to steal all the minerals, and you know how it works. I don't have to talk about this. And this president, Ibrahim Traore, made medical care free and even education free. So now they say he's a threat to his own people. How is that supposed to be? Oh my God. Oh yeah. And then Malcolm X was right. Guess who they put in charge to do that? Another black man, another general from the US. I think his name is Langley. So they hired a black man to do harm to another black man. So Burkina Faso people, protect your president at all costs. Because I don't see nothing wrong with that president. The president only wants the good of his own people. And who are you to go tell someone that it's not good for their own people? I don't understand. No, this is getting out of hands. France, we know you behind this. Leave Burkina.
All right, looks like it's time for us to go save the people of Burkina Faso. This guy got on U.S. Senate hearing and said that the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, has become a threat to his own people. You already know what that means, what that sounds like. That means it's time for us to go liberate the people of Burkina Faso. And of course, they're going to use a black man. The blackface is always a house nick. Every time they're going to use, every time they want to use violence on black people, they use a black man from the West to come bring it on Africans. Like, America has realized they have black people in power who they can use now to destroy Africa. But yes, this house Michael Langley is now the guy who's going to be the face of America going into Burkina Faso.
Good TikTok, bro. The energy right now of how you say my brother's name, Ibrahim Traore. Oh my lord, this man is like, he's not playing, y'all. Like, that kind of energy is what would have kept my ancestors from being enslaved. That kind of energy right there literally would have stopped tribalism, would have stopped the Berlin Conference. It would have stopped the dividing, and I got my slice of this pie of Africa. You see what I'm saying? This kind of energy is why they had Gaddafi going. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why this brother here is not playing. And we as black Americans, we have to be careful with letting and allowing the media of America to make us see other leaders that are fighting against America as some type of threat or some type of enemy. That is how they got Gaddafi out of there. They made it seem like he was when you become an enemy of America, you become an enemy to the whole world. Protect this brother Ibrahim at all costs, y'all. This man I done heard he had at least 19 assassination attempts on his life. That speaks volumes right there. And now America is saying that if he keeps on, and they already threatened that they're gonna go after him, we gotta protect this man, bro. Like, as black Americans, we really have to look at the bigger picture here. If they get liberation, another country gets liberation, all of us get liberation. Colonization has harmed everyone, and that is how it branches all of us together. We all been oppressed by someone that took our resources or took advantage of people to aid and help generate money with those resources. This is what slavery did, bro. So y'all gotta understand, bro, this stuff is getting real. We gotta protect that brother at all costs.
This is Ibrahim Traore, a leader in Burkina Faso. Right now, they're trying to imprison this man and say that he is a criminal because he is kicking out the colonialists. He is kicking out the French. He is kicking out the Americans, and he is uniting Africa. He has made it clear that Africa has been exploited for way too long. America, the French, all over the world, white people have told this weird story that Africans needed Europeans, that Africans cannot survive on their own, that Africans were just these black savages, and never tell how Africa got to the place where it is at now, how Africa was bled dry, how these people were forced into poverty, how these people's minerals and resources was taken away from them, and they were left with nothing. They never talk about how much was stolen away from Africa, but somehow always get to the story that Africa needs these European powers. Only in a few years, he has kicked out the Europeans. He has built infrastructure. He has provided protection for him and his people. And this is what they cannot have. They tell you all the time they want black people to do good. Oh yeah, we want black people to get to where we are. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because then the truth would be revealed that the world would not exist if it wasn't for Africans. Whether it was people, resources, or ideas, they were stolen from Africa.
You see this man here? He needs super armed security. In fact, the entire world needs to do a chained prayer for this man. Just within 2 years, do you know what Ibrahim Traore has actually done? First of all, he just made education free for everybody in Burkina Faso, which is crazy. He also launched an emergency ambulance service, and I've never heard of this in any African country. The service aims to provide 24-hour emergency healthcare to all citizens regardless of financial status. And under his leadership, like I said, this is just within 2 years. Burkina Faso's GDP, which is the gross domestic product, which is used to measure how well a country is doing economically, grew from approximately 18.8 billion to 22.1 billion. He also reduced the salaries of ministers and parliamentarians by 30% and increased the salaries of civil servants by 50%. He paid off Burkina Faso's local debts. He established 2 tomato processing plants. He put a stop to the export of unrefined gold from Burkina Faso to Europe. And to my understanding, he's actually trying to build a gold refinery in Burkina Faso. He banned French military operations in Burkina Faso. He banned French media in Burkina Faso, and he expelled French troops from Burkina Faso. Now, why the French are angry about this is because usually Francophone countries depend on France to some capacity. And if other countries, Francophone countries within Africa, start getting self-sufficiency, then we'll need France, leaving France's role redundant. And ultimately, France will become a third world country. Without Africa, France is a third world country. Remember that.
And there you have it, fam. If this is your first time hearing about President Ibrahim Traore, let me take a moment to break it down for you, because this man is not just any leader. He's a symbol of resistance, revolution, and real independence in modern-day Africa. So President Traore is one of the most loved leaders by Africans and simultaneously one of the most hated by the West. And that contrast speaks volumes. Why is he so loved across the continent, you may ask? Because he's doing what very few leaders have the courage to do: stand up to colonial powers and say no more. He's not just talking the talk, he's walking it. This man has boldly kicked out the French military presence. He's shut down Western interference from Britain and the US. He's reclaiming his nation's autonomy with a kind of fire and determination we haven't seen in decades. But why does the West hate him so much, you may ask again? Well, because he's changing the narrative. He's proving that Africa can thrive without Western aid, without being dependent, without selling off its souls for survival. And that threatens the very system that's been designed to keep Africa down and dependent. President Traore is following in the footsteps of the legendary Thomas Sankara, a revolutionary icon who was also from Burkina Faso. So Sankara stood up to the same powers, spoke the same truth, and tragically was unalived by the French-backed regime for doing exactly what Traore is doing now, fighting to liberate his people and protect Africa's wealth for Africans. It's a cycle, history repeating itself, but this time the world is watching. Black people globally are watching, and we are not staying silent. Our brothers and sisters, Black Americans, are speaking out. You know, I think they're even the loudest on TikTok. You guys are amazing. You are the real VPs, very important people. Yeah, I meant to say that. Now let's talk about what Traore has actually done. I always get a problem pronouncing that last name. I know I'm not the only one, okay? Yeah, it's Traore. Yeah, Traore. Like, you make it sound like there are 2 E's at the end, but it's one. It's a French name, I think. He nationalized the UK-owned gold mines, a move that rattled international corporations and Western governments. We are talking about millions, possibly billions of dollars that were once being extracted and shipped out of Burkina Faso, lining foreign pockets while the local people remained poor. But now, that wealth stays in Burkina Faso. It stays in Africa in general. So he's using that money to build his country, not beg from the IMF, not trade independence for donations. He's constructing affordable housing. He's investing in public services. He's providing, is proving that Africa doesn't need to be dependent. It needs to be respected. And that, my friend, is where the West has a problem with him, because suddenly a so-called third world country is acting first class. His country is acting first class, reclaiming its dignity, its voice, and its vision. They can't control Traoré at the moment. They cannot do that. Africa is watching. The entire world is watching. They can't buy him. He recently denied an invite to the White House. Trump invited him. He said that working on his country was more important than that. And I think that has pissed them even more. And because of that, they want him gone. Did I say that? Forget I said that. I didn't say that. They want him arrested, and they are painting a narrative to justify it, claiming he's using his country's resources for personal gain. But here's the truth. He's using his country's resources to build his country, to build his people, to create jobs, housing, independence. So again, how is that America's or France's business? This isn't about democracy. This is about justice. This is about control. Yeah, it's a same playbook they've used for generations. They destabilize, discredit, then dethrone any African leader who refuses to bow. But this time there's resistance, global resistance, especially from Africans, and Black Americans have jumped on this to help. They are being vocal. People are tired of seeing history repeat itself while the world looks the other way. And what's even more powerful, the younger generation, TikTokers, content creators, truth tellers are calling it out loudly. Clearly, some of them are even offering to go and join the military in Burkina Faso to defend this man. So I ask you guys, why can't they leave the so-called third world alone? Why is independence from Western control considered? Why is independence from Western control considered a threat? Maybe because the truth is they don't want an African that stands on its own. They want an African that needs them, an African that obeys. But President Traore is showing us that Africa doesn't have to be anyone's puppet. Yeah, I think I've said too much. Yeah. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you stand with President Traore? Do you believe Africa should control its own destiny, free from external control? Or do you think the West still has a role to play? I want to hear your voice, because silence is no longer an option. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if this message resonates with you. If you liked watching this video, if you've learned something from this video, please make sure you subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so that every time I upload a new video, you will be notified. I'll definitely see you in my next video. Thank you once again.